It is the Michigan Football Report. We are sponsored by Mint Mobile. I've switched to Mint Mobile because they have wireless plans starting as low as $15 a month. They are changing the wireless game. Go to mintmobile.com/chatsports to get hooked up with our deal. We'll talk about that later in the show. All right, also later in the show, I am going to tell you about what I know with near certainty about the rumors of a big-time night game that's going to be played at Michigan Stadium later on this fall. Let's kind of think about the October time frame, so stick around later in the show. We'll tell you about that. But to start today's show, there is a lot of conversation, a lot of rumors out there. We're, 15 days away from Michigan's first game against Colorado State. Who's going to be the starting quarterback? What's going on with the offensive line? What's going on with the running game? But since we have been really sparse the last few months, I'll admit it, I've heard you guys saying, Yoder, did you die? Did you give up the show? Were you fired? Did Sam Webb put out the hit on you? None of that happened, really. But I want to know from you guys, I better see some Y's in here. Did you miss me? I think it's been like a month since we've done a show, but mostly since March, April, we've been fairly sparse on content. A lot of things going on. I've had a couple family members, some health issues. We've hired a ton of people here at Chat Sports, trying to do some other deals, and that takes me away from the show, but it all is allowing me to get back into the fold before the season starts. We won't do a video every day this week or next, but trust me, starting the season September 3rd, you will have a video. I guess let's say it's September 1st. September 1st through the end of Michigan football season, you will have a video every single day. So let me know if you miss me, Y or N. If you follow me on Twitter, though, you certainly wouldn't miss me because I've still been active on Twitter through the little bit of break here and there on YouTube over the past few months. So if you miss me on YouTube, or if you just want to keep up with what I'm thinking about Michigan football at all times without having to wait for a video, go follow me. It's at James Yoder on Twitter. I got a link for you down in the comments and descriptions. Give me a follow at James Yoder. All right, it is rumor meter time. The old Harbaugh heads rumor meter, which made this show famous. First rumor of three we're going to talk about today, or three on the meter. We've got four rumors for you, though. Is Cade McNamara your quarterback one, your starting quarterback for Jim Harbaugh's Wolverines? I am going with three Harbaugh heads, folks. That means pretty likely. Still 2 weeks of practice left, so things could change, right? Injuries, guy just, light goes on for J.J. McCarthy. Maybe Cade struggles, starts throwing interceptions. But everything we've heard is they were giving Cade the opportunity to start with the ones, and he has not relinquished that title. Big Ten Network was on Michigan's campus a couple days ago. Here is what host Dave Revson said about the quarterback battle. He says, I would go with McNamara for sure. I think there's a little more risk with McCarthy. He's really, really a good quarterback, and just about any team in college football would be falling over themselves to get him. I'm not suggesting he's not good. I guess I just feel like McNamara makes good decisions. I don't think it's worth the risk. This is kind of what I've been saying since the end of the season. Now, I have started to slightly lean more towards JJ. Maybe it's only like 52 to 48, Cade to JJ in my mind, mostly because reward Cade McNamara for winning a Big Ten title. You know what you have out of him last year. You've got a lot of those same pieces. Outside of Hassan Haskins, Andrew Stuber, Andrew Vastardis, you basically have the entire offense coming back. I think Cade McNamara can probably lead Michigan to the playoffs again as the starting quarterback. Now, some might say you can't beat Georgia, you can't beat Alabama, maybe you can't beat Ohio State with C.J. Stroud again without a guy like J.J. McCarthy. So they're going to have a few games, right? They're going to have 3 or 4 games to battle out J.J. McCarthy's role, right? He's expected. I expect him from what we're hearing about the game plans for Colorado State, for Hawaii, and on UConn and then Maryland. I am expecting him to get significant snaps, significant reps with the first team offense in those first 4 games. What Michigan is trying to figure out is by the Iowa game, the 5th game of the year, the first road game, is whether or not J.J. McCarthy is the guy that can lead him into Iowa, right? Get a win like they did last year against Nebraska, against Wisconsin, against others. If he can potentially put in the game plan to beat Ohio State on the road for the first time in 22 years. Here are the 4 games, if you haven't looked at the schedule yet. Coming up 2 weeks from tomorrow, Colorado State, noon at the Big House on ABC. A week later, Hawaii, Big Ten Network, under the lights. UConn a week after that. And then Maryland on September 24th on Fox, which is the homecoming game, I believe, for the University of Michigan. A week later, October 1st, they will play at Iowa City. Now, Michigan's really struggled at Iowa City over the last 20-plus years. They're probably even going back 40 years prior to that. A lot of schools do. If this is a night game, that spells some trouble for Michigan, I think. That it's always tougher to win in Iowa at night. If it's a day game, I don't know. Michigan did just beat Iowa 42-3 at the end of last season. So I would think Michigan no matter where the game is played, should be favored rather significantly. But Jim Harbaugh has had a few slip-ups here and there over the years that you don't expect. Going into an Iowa team that may be ranked in the top 15 or so at that time if they take care of business in the out-of-conference, that will be a heck of a game. Could J.J. McCarthy take the job with great play, better throws than Cade McNamara? You guys let me know. Who will be the starting quarterback for that first road game at Iowa, right? 5th game of the year, October 1st. I want you guys to go down in the comment. I'm going to make this the pinned comment on today's video. Scroll down. I'm going to do a quick ad read here. Type JJ or type CM. Let me know who you think is going to be Michigan's starting quarterback. We have a new sponsor, folks. Mint Mobile is sponsoring today's show. They give you unlimited wireless service starting at $15 a month. You might know Mint Mobile, right? Ryan Reynolds does the really funny commercials. I switched to Mint Mobile a couple months ago, and I have seen no downside. I was previously with one of the big-time carriers that cost hundreds of dollars a month. I switched to Mint Mobile, took my bill way, way, way down. They offer premium wireless service for as low as $15 a month. You don't have to sacrifice speed. You don't have to sacrifice coverage or data. They are built on the nation's largest 5G network. They keep costs low because they don't have stores. They don't have pushy salespeople. All the savings goes right to you, to the consumer. Super easy to switch. You can take your current number, your current phone, use their eSIM process, which makes it super easy to switch. All of a sudden, you're on Mint Mobile. I've saved a bunch of money with Mint Mobile, and I encourage you to do the same. Go to mintmobile.com/chatsports. That's mintmobile.com/chatsports. It's down in the comments in the description. Use our link so you automatically get the best prices they offer. Mint Mobile, sponsoring today's show, mintmobile.com/chatsports. All right, a lot of talk about the offensive line, the nation's best offensive line from 2021, the Joe Moore Award-winning O-line. Is it all set? Yeah, there's guys like Trente Jones, Carson Barnhart. What about the new center, Olu? Let's talk about that. I'm giving this one 4 Harbaugh heads. The starting offensive line is set, and there will be nothing outside of an injury, of course, that I really can't predict that can change this offensive line going into the first game. Producer, toss them up on screen there. Let's see who they are. Ryan Hayes. This is 4th year in some regards starting, third year as a full-time starter. He's back at your left tackle. Trevor Keegan at left guard. We're going to call him Victor O, right? Olu Watimi, the third-place Remington Award best center in the college football last year at Virginia. Now the starter. Zach Zintner, the third-year player, third-year starter. And then Trente Jones, his 4th year at Michigan, finally getting into the starting lineup. Outdid Carson Barnhart throughout spring and now into fall to get that starting job, although I do think Barnhart will get some snaps early on. They'll rotate in 5, 6, 7 guys there at the offensive line throughout the entire season. And then, much like the quarterback position, if one backup really plays well, he may have the opportunity, but that's your starting 5 going into the first game. All right, we've got more rumors on Jim Harbaugh's offense coming up here in a moment on the show. But here is my promise to you. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. We've always appreciated it. We love interacting with you guys. We love the fact that we've had such a big audience and so many people commenting and liking and sharing our videos. If you subscribe now, we're going to guarantee you videos from September 1st until the end of the 2022 season. Money back guarantee. So there's absolutely nothing to risk. Go subscribe, youtube.com/Michigan TV. It is the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. So this offensive line, a lot of people are saying that Hassan Haskins was the reason they had such a great running game. And maybe the offensive line really leaned on the thunder and lightning of Haskins and Corum. But I'm starting to hear some credible folks say that this offensive line in 2022, you lose 2 starters in Vastardis and Stuber. You kind of backfill them in with Trente Jones and then Victor O from coming over from Virginia. Could they be a better offensive line than the 2021 group that brought in the ground rate offense of Michigan, won the Joe Moore Award for the best offensive line in college football, and hell, pushed Ohio State all over the field completely? I think there's a pretty good chance. Now, we're not going to find out realistically until mid-October when you have back-to-back games against Penn State and then Michigan State, but I think there's a pretty good chance. So feel good about Michigan's offensive line. I certainly feel really good about them right now, and I think they have a chance to, as long as they've got the right approach, new offensive coordinator, a little different play calling in there, but as long as they've got the right offensive strategy, this offensive line has a chance to really, again, be the best in college football. All right, we have a game coming up in 15 days, folks. Michigan is hosting Colorado State at the Big House September 3rd, 12 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Michigan's favored by 27.5 points. The over-under is 57.5. What I want to know from you guys is, I want to know what you're thinking about this game, right? What do you think Michigan will do? Do you think they'll be able to cover that 27.5 point spread? Go down in the comments of today's video. Give me a score prediction. Of course, I think you're going to say Michigan wins, but let me know anyways, which team scores which. Michigan, Colorado State, September 3rd at the Big House. Who is going to win this game? Of course, Michigan, but let me know your score predictions. All right, folks, I have got a source that tells me unless either of the teams has 2 losses, which, certainly possible, before their October game, the Michigan State game at the Big House, Jim Harbaugh's revenge game after 2 straight losses to, Mel Tucker and the Spartans, 95% chance that it's going to be a night game, as long as those 2 teams don't have drastically bad Septembers and early Octobers. So if you're planning on going to Michigan State, I think it's October 29th, the weekend of Halloween. If you're planning on going to that game, plan to get a hotel, plan to have someone to stay if you're coming out of town, because 95% chance that game is going to be at night. Heading back to the rumor meter, is the running game struggling? I saw an entire thread of this on Twitter. Someone's friend, blah, blah, they can't get any yards, they can't get any this, that. Well, I'm giving this one Harbaugh had, folks. Maybe a sliver of truth to that. Maybe someone saw one practice where the running game struggled. But from everything we've heard, the running game has actually been fairly terrific so far, not only just in the spring practice, but so far 2.5+ weeks in the fall. Look, from where I'm sitting here, and the production crew found a wonderful photo of me for our new segment called From Yoder's Seat, right? You guys remember last year, October 31st through the Georgia game, I rocked that mustache. Let me tell you, sex life to the moon. Hassan Haskins is gone, but Corum and Edwards, they can pound the rock too, right? If you've seen Blake Corum in the weight room, he might be 5'8", 5'9", but he's 200 pounds of solid rock. Donovan Edwards reminds me a lot of Reggie Bush, right? He did a lot of things outside of the pocket, catching passes, running punt returns. But Reggie Bush could run right up the middle, too. He could take a hit. He could knock a couple guys over. So although I don't think they're going to have guys hurdling people like Hassan Haskins or knocking safeties just completely on their butt, I do think Michigan's going to be able to run through the tackles this season. That is what I'm thinking from Yoder's seat on this one. But I'm going to ask you guys this question on Michigan's running back. How many rushing yards do you think Blake Corum will have this season? If you remember, he had just under 1,000 last year as the number 2 running back, right? Halfway through the season, he was on pace for 1,200, 1,300 yards, got hurt, missed a couple games, was limited in a couple games, ended up with 900 some yards. I'm going to go with 1,200, maybe 1,250 yards right now as Michigan's leading running back. But I don't think that's all Michigan's going to get from a production standpoint from that running back room because of this man right here, Donovan Edwards. All right. We saw some things from him last year that we've never seen in the history of this program, right? For a true freshman to catch 10 passes as a running back in a game where he didn't even start, right, against Maryland, I believe it was last year, 10 catches in one game last year. He also threw a 40-some-yard touchdown pass. Well, threw is more than that, but 45 yards on, in stride to Roman Wilson in the Big Ten championship game. This guy is versatile. My prediction for him, folks, this year: 51 catches, 575 yards, 120 carries, 625 yards. I expect him, well, people have told me this, I believe it, easily break Chris Perry's record for the program of 44 catches by a running back. Perry had that back when he was the Doak Walker Award winner in 2003. 44 catches. I think he's going to get 50, Donovan Edwards. I think Michigan's really going to use him. They'll break him out of the backfield as a receiver. They'll pass the ball to him 3-4 times. And you saw last year in that Maryland game and a couple others, they're not afraid to bring him out of the backfield, and not just on a swing pass, not just on a screen pass, but send him deep down the field. And that's part of the offense you're going to see probably right out of the gate on September 3rd, 15 days from now. It is the end of the video, squad. We're back. We're feeling good. We're going to have another video for you on Sunday, so make sure you guys are turning on those notifications and everything like that. But if you're coming to the end of the video, watch the entire thing. We thank you. Type Real One. I'll give a Real One shout-out on a video early next week, Monday, Tuesday. So go down, type Real One. We'll give all the Real Ones a shout-out on next video. We'll be back on Sunday. Until then, go Blue.